What's up, y'all? It's Otaku Tavern back at you with another video. Hope everybody's doing well today and tonight, wherever you're from, whatever time zone, whatever. So, if you like the type of content that I create and the games we play here, make sure you like, subscribe, click the bell notification so that you do not miss a video. And topic for tonight's video is living the life you want from an otaku perspective. And obviously I'm going to be talking about quite a couple of things honestly here.
So close. This is your big chance.
And hey, how's it going? We're going to get into this. So, you know, we've talked about stuff like narcissists in the family, you know, narcissistic dating, you know, narcissistic friendships, and all that stuff, right? Okay, the match was done by the time it started. That's crazy. Anyway, so what I mean by this is, you know, these people, they have a version, especially like the people who know you or who
Pick your hero.
it just even meet you really.
I'm not judging.
They already have a version of you that they either hope you are, or they really, you know, if you're not that way, you get treated like crap or garbage because you're not that way, or you know, you're not the person that they wanted you to be, right? And this you can look at this from a lot of angles, honestly. And you know, the first one I'm going to tackle in this video is, this video is not going to be super long, but the first one I want to tackle is
30 seconds before you attack. Get
the
ready.
fact of people
So you're telling me there's a whole multiverse full of spider folk?
saying that you
You gotta be kidding me. I can barely
Are-
tolerate one of them.
weird because, you know, you like, say it could be superheroes, it could be
The battle starts in 5,
anime,
3, 2.
video games,
All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
certain musical artists,
You were expecting dead.
cartoons from like Cartoon Network, or
Reckon it's time for a regime.
you know, stuff like that. You get plushies, that's another one, right? You know, you're always going to have these people try to tell you, oh, well, you shouldn't be doing this. You should just be working. You should, you know, going on vacation, doing all this stuff, right? A lot of this pointless stuff that middle class do, really.
I've come back from way worse.
But, like, you know,
Got your back.
you are obviously not them. You know, and that's probably not a life you want to live.
The mission area.
And really, honestly, that's the best life to live, to be honest. You know, like, you know, you hear this in different spaces. You may hear this in, like, say you go to your church, and you may hear this, right? Or you may hear this from, like, people your acquaintances with, like your co-workers. Maybe your family members. Maybe even like a woman you're interested in, right?
Look out for Moon Knight's onks.
You know, or say like if you know, like if you're like a woman, you know, searching for a man. You know, a man could say this to you. You know, they already have the version they want you to be, and when you show them that you're not going to conform, you're not going to be the version that they wanted you to be, they get all uptight about it. They get mad. You know, they want to like
Tis a territorial, the more the merrier.
act like you don't exist.
Thanks for the boost.
You know, they want to act like, you know, they're doing nothing wrong, obviously. But, yeah, that's what these narcissists will do. But anyway, you know, my advice to you is, you know, live like you want. And what I mean by that is, you know, I don't mean to just do anything you want, obviously. I mean, there's certain things you probably shouldn't do, you know, that. But I'm kind of talking about, like, hobby sense here. You know, don't let someone ruin your hobbies, bro. Like, if someone doesn't accept your hobbies, bro, really, honestly, to be honest with you, I would say if they're not even interested in the same hobbies as you, I would say more than likely it's not, the friendship or the relationship isn't going to work anyway. More than likely. And, you know, I've been in this situation many times.
She's the best there is, folks. Just
you know, I live in an area to where people do not have the same interests as me, obviously. They're very narrow-minded, very closed-minded.
It's nice to take a break from cosmic judgment every now
And they're not happy for you that you have these outlets, right? These copes, these
Get ready.
these things that, why does it keep doing that? These things that make you happy, right?
Phoenix Force I've heard so much about.
And
You do not seem impressed.
you know, these people should be glad for you that you have this.
You sounded a lot
You know, maybe if you know, if you have autism, I'm pretty sure this is probably going to bother you much worse
4, 3,
than it would with a person who doesn't.
All you need to do is capture the missionary.
Because, you know, us autistic people kind of take our hobbies very seriously,
Or even multiversal.
and
Things quietly.
Here come our next victims.
you know, we do get defensive when it comes to our hobbies, and you know, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But you know, don't let these people try to shame you out of your hobbies. Don't let these people try to make you think you're weird or anything because of these hobbies.
We got it.
Because, you know, the things I just named,
Oh, I'm fine.
liking a musical artist,
I've got your back.
you know, liking video games, anime, superheroes, right? This is all pretty normal stuff, right? This is all very normal things. Like, you know, it's not like you're harming anybody, obviously, by doing it, and,
I can feel your pain.
The best there is, folks.
you know, you're not... I mean, as long as you're getting what needs to be done. I mean, I don't really see a problem. But, like,
I've got your back.
at the same time, though, you know, that's not enough for these people, right? They want to control the way that you are, and
You've captured more than half of
they want to control your likes, your dislikes. You got to be just like them, bro. You got to be in with the clique, you know, in with the clique, man. That's what it boils down to. And it's like, you know, no, I'm good. You know, I don't want to be in with the clique. I'm very uninterested in that, so to say. But sorry, y'all. I'm concentrating a little bit. Trying to. Yeah, get out of here.
Some help will help.
Anyway, that's what they will try to do, you know. And another thing they will do is they will also try to, not only that, but they will try to gaslight you out of it. They will try to, you know, tell you, oh, it's time to grow up, you know, because being a grown up to most people in society is just working a job every day, you know, and really having no fun. Like, people do not know how to have fun anymore. You know, I've talked about that a little bit before. They really don't. You know, everybody's so uptight. You know, they're always wanting to work all the time, or, you know, they don't never want to kind of sit down, have fun with friends, or, you know, family, or, you know, even in relationships. You know, this is a problem. And, like, you know, sure, I get it. You know, you gotta put food on the table and stuff. But, like, you know, when that becomes your entire life, as in, like, you know, you can't have any hobbies or do anything fun, you know, that's a problem. Like, but the thing is, though, y'all, they expect you to be the same way, and if you're not the same way, you're a threat to them. They think that you're the problem. And, you know, like, say you're working like a fast food job, right? You know, maybe you work like, I don't know, 4 hours, maybe you work like 5 to 6 hours, like maybe 3 or 4 days a week, right? Okay, well, they're obviously going to start talking smack about you. They're going to start, like, talking all this garbage, like,
30 seconds before you attack.
you know, because to them, you're not contributing. You're not doing enough. And, you know, and if you're on food stamps, you know, unemployment, Social Security, all of that kind of governmental program aid, like, you know, you're going to have it even worse than these people, because they're really going to be on you. I've seen this happen, you know, like, and it just really goes to show, you know, people, especially within this country, they do not value, time with their loved ones enough. They don't value the smaller things in life. They don't value their hobbies. You know, it's just work, all day, day in, day out, grind. You know, like this alpha male type crap. And it's like, you know, the thing is, you know, there's a book that I'm going to be reading. I got it, and it's called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. And basically this book, you know, one of the things is, you know, I wish I'd stayed true to myself and not what others expected of me. Okay, so it's about this, you know, this palliative nurse. She spent years, a long time, like 10 plus years, and people that were dying in their last moments, and they all told the same thing, kind of. Their regrets were not about money. They wasn't about status. They wasn't about none of that. They were about stuff about the soul, like. And, you know, that was number 3 or 4 that's in this book. And, you know, that's the thing. You know, you're gonna wish, you know, because if this bothers you, you're gonna wish, you know, when you do get, if you manage to make it to your deathbed, you know, like you're gonna think, you know, wow, you know, I should have, you know, liked this artist and not cared what anybody thought. I should have played that game. Who cares what anybody thought, right? I should have, you know, you get the picture, right? So the thing is, too, with this is, you know, you're going to realize it's too late at this point. And, you know, because your life will be over, you know, and this is very, this is very, like, brutal, really at face value, because you got to, you gotta be more grounded in your hobbies. I feel like, you know, don't let someone take that away from you, obviously. And believe me, there's people who try. There's people who will do everything they can possibly do to get you to stop your hobbies. You know, maybe one of your hobbies is figure collecting, right? Don't let any of these toxic women in dating tell you this, or these toxic men. Don't let none of that. Don't let none of that stop you from doing that. If that's what you want to do. If you want a game, game. You know, and because you know you're not going to live forever, obviously. And it's like, you know, I'm a firm believer in that, because, you know, there are things, you know, I like that people try to say, oh, well, you know, you can't like that. That's not normal for you to like as a hobby. And, you know, who cares? Because, you know, the only one I really answer to is God, really. You know, I'm not really worried about what a human being has got to say about my hobbies, so to say. You know, and I mean, I get it, you know, they try to make you regret having this hobby. They try to make you feel like that you shouldn't have this hobby. You know, say some people, you know, like photography, right? You know, as a hobby. Some people actually do photography as a hobby, and a lot of times these people are told they need to find a new hobby. They're lazy. You know, this could be with photography, it could be with gaming, whatever, right? If they just don't approve of your hobbies, this is the responses you will get. And you know, another thing too, like I've talked about, you know, like, you know, as a Christian, if you're a Christian, you know, a thing in the church is, like, at least middle class public churches, is the fact that, like, you know, if you're not like them, they've got a problem with you because you're breaking man-made rules, obviously. And, you know, I don't care about man-made rules, bro. Like, I really don't. As far as, like, that church stuff goes, bro, like, I'm gonna like my hobbies, obviously. If you don't like it, I don't care, bro. I really don't. But, like, you know, make sure you live the life you want, because here's the thing, you know, you were given life, and you wasn't given life to sit here and care what these people are saying about your hobbies. And sure, I get it. As an autistic person, I can tell you this now. It's very agitating when they do put them down. But you also got to remember, you know, these people are not you. They do not define you. They do not. These people have no part in your destiny. They have no part in how you spend your free time. They have no part in how you do your hobbies, what hobbies you like. You know, say you like right. I forgot where I was going with that thought. I started focusing again. I apologize, y'all. Oh. Yeah, because, you know, the moment that you let these people, like, it's kind of like, you know, you give them an inch, they'll take a mile kind of thing. Because, you know, these people, obviously, like I said before, they do not determine... Crap. Get out of here with that crap. You know, they obviously don't care. Because here's the thing, like, you know, if say I had a child, right? Say the child was like, I don't know, 14, right? And then they told me, oh, hey, you know, I like photography. You know, I'm not into photography. But, you know, I'm not going to crap on that hobby if that's their hobby. You know, hey, if that's what gets them by, if that is a cope for them, then that is a good thing. And you know, because photography isn't hurting anybody. You know, you're just taking pictures of like nature and stuff. But like, you know, I get why people like having it as a hobby. I totally get it. But, you know, these people think they are obligated to sit here and tell you, hey, you can't have this hobby. You can't do this. Now, this could be, I don't care if it's in a friendship way, a dating way, someone at your church way, family ways, you know, anything wise like that. Like, any family wise, anything, right? And, you know, that's like why I made the video of, can men like cute things? Right, we talked about that. And it's like, you know, yeah, they can. You know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, like, you know, men like cute girls all the time, don't they? So who's to say they can't like other cute things? You say, like, it's just the way that it's like people like are, you know, it's like if you're not like them, then that's how they will treat you. That's how they will be. And it's like, you know, I get on one hand, if that's not your hobby, you don't want to talk about it. I get that. You know, I'm that way too. I'm that way. Like, you know, I don't really like talking about a lot of things that, like, aren't my hobbies. Like, you know, I simply just do not care. Like, you know, some people are like that. That is kind of like an autistic thing as well. But, like, you know, I'm not going to sit here and just start crapping on their hobbies and be like, oh, well, that's stupid. Or I'm not going to be doing that. And, you know, because, you know, their hobbies is whatever. Now, if your hobby is gossiping, yeah, I probably will talk crap about that. You know, I will be calling that out. And yes, a lot of these people do gossip as a hobby. But, you know, as far as good, sane hobbies, y'all, you know, if you like plushie collecting, right? Don't let these people, these clowns, tell you you can't do that, because, you know, more than likely, you know, these people that are saying this are probably a lot of the same people that probably have rubber ducks on their dashboard. You know, like, the hypocrisy is real, y'all. Like, it's, but, like, you know, live the life you want when it comes to your hobbies. You know, obviously this video is about hobbies only, really. You know, I plan on doing another video about other things as well on this topic.
I can feel your pain.
And
Thanks for the boost.
you know,
This officially makes us BFFs now. Oh, win it, hey!
sorry, don't let someone ruin your like hobby time. Don't let someone ruin your fun when you have like these hobbies, because some people, you know, like roller skating is a hobby, and then some people be like, oh, well, that's for children. You know, some people would say that seriously, and they would start to say, oh, well, you need to grow up and all this to your face, and you know, they'd be saying all this stuff, and it's like, don't care what they say, bro.
Only 60 seconds left.
You know, life is too short to care what these
He stopped them in
people
their
are
tracks.
saying. And,
My healing
you know, I can't stress enough that, like,
Mon Dieu, that hurt.
to really sit here and be like, you know, hey, I'm not going to let this bother me. And that's what you should do. You shouldn't let this bother you.
Guess the hunter got
I don't know why I went the wrong way there. You shouldn't let this bother you, right? Because
You just showed
I
them
get it,
stupid
to some
faces.
people it can be hard,
We got this. Just keep fighting.
and, you know, I've been there. But, like, you know, don't let them,
The final 10 seconds.
don't let them sit there and tell you what kind of hobbies you can have, because they don't really have that right.
Another epic
So,
victory. Big win.
I mean, another thing too is, like, you know, it's also like disrespectful for these people to act this way, to do this stuff, to talk garbage about your hobbies, right? It is disrespectful. It is definitely a form of disrespect, regardless if you're a man or a woman, right? So don't
Pick your hero.
do not give these people
I'm not judging.
the inch to take a mile, because when you do, you know, you're going to end up questioning a lot of things. You're going to feel hurt, all this stuff. And another thing, like, I really advise is, when you're becoming friends with somebody, if they do not have the same interests, mindset, and hobbies you do, just simply don't get involved. And the reason I say this is because it's not that, like, you know, I'm not saying you can't necessarily talk to someone different. What I'm saying is, it will really help you out in the long run. And what I mean by
30
that
seconds
is,
before you attack. Get ready.
you will obviously have more to bond over. You will,
Is that diamond skin of yours actually?
you know, because here's the thing. You can't bond over work. You know, like, if that's all you're bonding over is work, you're not gonna, that's all you're gonna be able to talk about. You're not gonna be able to talk about anything else, you know, like, when you're, like, doing hobbies, like certain mindsets you may have, like beliefs you have, or whatever, you know, that right there really helps mold
Anything that increases my
a person. Another thing too is your character. Like, you know, all of this stuff, you know, matters when speaking to other people, you know. And if they don't have, like, similar all this to you, it's like, you know, I mean, I know for me it don't work, because, you know, I don't even know what to say, really, because, I mean, I guess call that like an autistic thing, but, like, you know, I don't really talk to people who aren't really interested in the same things as me, if that makes sense. And you know, because it's hard for me to engage in a conversation I simply just do not care about, right? It's very hard for me to engage in that. And it's like, you know, I have no, like, say someone comes to me talking about Like, okay, say they come to me and start talking about, like, how they like to go and play football, right? I mean, I'll listen to you. I mean, I won't be rude to you or anything. I mean, I'll listen to what you got to say. I mean, sure, I may look uninterested and bored because, I mean, obviously, honestly, I am. That, you know, that is not my interest, you know, but if the moment you're expecting me to engage in the conversation and talk about this, something I do not like, that's where I have to draw the line, because I just simply cannot do that. You know, that's one reason why, you know, like me and my sibling don't get along, because there's just nothing there, right? There's not anything a basis to build a healthy relationship on. There's nothing to talk about. Literally, there's nothing to talk about. And, you know, another thing too is, like, you know, when you're trying to talk to somebody that's from a different world than you, you know, obviously, you know, trying to be talking to people from different worlds than you, that right there is where you're really going to have a very, very hard time, you know, because, and what I mean by that is, like, I'm not saying it can't be done, but what I'm saying is it's going to be a battle, because, you know, like I said before, you can't just bond over work and nothing else. You just can't. You know, and a lot of these people seem to do this. They make these acquaintances that they, for some reason, want to call friends. And, you know, these people are not friends. They are mere acquaintances, nothing else. And, you know, obviously they have to care about you as well. And obviously show this with action. But, like, you know, another thing too about living the life that, you know, you want, you know, like, say as an otaku, bro, look, I'll be honest with you, if you have, like, say you, like me, like, bro, I've almost got 5,000 waifus, like, bro, you think I care what anybody else is saying? You think I care about anybody else's opinion on that? No, I don't. I really don't care. You know, if you don't like it, wow, so what? You know, that's not gonna affect my life. That's not going to do anything. I mean, you know, I just don't give a crap about your opinion. You know, that's the way I see it. And, you know, if I want a game, I'll game. You know, if I want to watch anime, I'll watch anime. You know, if I want to you know, do something with superheroes, I'll do something with superheroes. Bro, you're not going to tell me, you know, make me be a version of whatever you want. It's just not going to happen. You know, and going back to the thing about, you know, the different worlds is, like, you know, these are some of the most challenging relationships, because it's like, you know, there are people who feel like a stranger in a strange land in their own countries, bro. In their own countries. They feel like a stranger in a strange land. And this obviously can be in relationships as well. This can be in friendships. This can be in family dynamics. This can be in a work environment. This can be in a church environment. You know, there's so many places that this could be. And, you know, and even in circles, I will tell you this, even in circles with your interests, can sometimes feel like you are in a stranger in a strange land. You know, sometimes it can feel that way, especially like if you are an otaku, you know, like, and you're autistic too. Like, you know, that right there, bro, that you're gonna feel that way. And crap, hang on. It's like, you know, that's going to be really tough to deal with, because you're going to be sitting here, you know, trying to figure out what to talk about with this person who's from another world than you, a different world, you know, and then they're going to be like wanting you to live the life they live a lot of the times, and it's like, you know, absolutely not, bro, absolutely not. Like, I've personally had this happen to me many of times, honestly, and, you know, it's just like at this point, like, you know, I'll say it again, you know, if you do not have the same interests as me, the same mindsets on on at least some things, bro. Like, you know, I don't mind to be friends with a person who will disagree with me on some things. That's fine, you know. But like, you know, there's got to be some like-mindedness there. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be some like-mindedness there because, you know, if we're just totally different beliefs, like, you know, I mean, and here's the thing: I'm not necessarily talking about a religious stance. You know, I'm talking about, like, you know, say, you know, like if you believe that, you know, say you believe that hurting people is okay. Okay, I'm not going to be able to talk to you because I don't believe that. You know, that's not me. Or you like cheating on people, right? I can't be around you, bro, because, like, I don't like that either. I don't believe in that. You know, like, because that is hurting someone. It's like, you know, this kind of stuff, like, you know, that's kind of the stuff I'm talking about. Like, and not too, like, you know, this can also be from a moral, ethical stance, too, if, you know, you have morals and ethics as well. You know, or this can also be from, you know, just, you know, how you do things, your daily rituals, your routines, your, you know, like, you know, you get what I'm saying. But, like, you know, there's gotta be something there, you know, like, because if there's not, it's just, it's already dead in the water. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's already dead in the water. And, you know, you're wasting time. This person's wasting, that's the problem. Everybody's wasting everybody's time. And, you know, time is a valuable source. It's the most valuable resource on Earth, you know, and it's like, you know, that's something you can never get back. You know, sure, food and all that is, you know, a valuable resource, but food can be grown. Food can, you know, you can get food. Water, same thing, right? You know, but here's the thing. Time, you can never get that back. So say you watch a movie that absolutely, like, blew chunks, right? And it's like you wish you could get that hour and a half back that you spent on the movie, those 2 hours back. Bro, it ain't gonna happen. You're never going to get that time back ever again. It's gone. It's history. So it's like, you know, live the life you want to live when it comes to your hobbies, because if you let these people take that away from you, they very well will. They very well will try to do that. You know, they want you to be miserable. And it's like, you know, don't give these people an inch or a mile. Don't even let them. Don't even go near them. You know, say you want to like superheroes. If that's what you want to, let me tell you something. Your hobbies, I'm gonna tell you now, are actually a big part of you. And you know, this is a big part of your fun time, your me time, your even time with your friends, time with your spouse, whatever. Whether you game with your spouse, you go on walks with your spouse, you do photography with your spouse, you exercise with your spouse or your friend, whatever it may be, right? Like, you know, don't let people kind of try to take that away from you, because, you know, that's a big part of who you are. That's what makes you you. See, these people, the ones who have this version of you in their mind, they get mad when you're not this person that they want you to be. They're not interested in the real you. They are interested in making you be the one they want you to be. And this is a big problem within a lot of spaces. You know, the church is a big problem because, you know, you're supposed to let God change things about you. You're not supposed to, like, be, like, hammering down on these people, you know, because life is a process, you know, and all this. But, you know,
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
you know, I mean, even coworkers will try to do this. You know, family members will do this. They, if you like something that they don't, they'll say, "Oh, well, you know, you don't need to do that," or whatever. Just ignore these people, seriously. But yeah,
Battle starts in 5, 4,
you know,
3, 2, 1.
and I'm gonna give another example of this. So, you know, I've always liked Powerpuff Girls, right? The cartoon from Cartoon Network. And, you know, all my life, you know, I was stereotyped because I liked Powerpuff Girls. I was like, oh, they'd be like, oh, that's a girl show. You know, that's for girls. And it's like, you know,
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture
it's
now.
really,
They captured the mission area.
it's very, what do I want to say? It's very male-dominated audience for Powerpuff Girls, believe it or not. Like that I'll use that phrase because you know, kids, adults alike, you know, love the show, and you know that's very. I mean, it's a TV show, for goodness sakes. Like, TV shows are not bound by which gender can like them. Why these people think this? You know, they think like, oh, if you're a man and you like Powerpuff Girls, then you're not masculine. And it's like, you know, this is BS. This is complete BS. These people are afraid to take risks. They're afraid to do anything because probably either they're alpha male crap or, you know, other women, they're like this. That they're afraid to take risks because they can't really genuinely be their authentic self in front of others. They have to wear a mask. They have to wear a persona around these people. Sure, they may like stuff in secret, you know, like a lot of people, you know, like was hating on Hannah Montana back in the day, but I guarantee you a lot of these haters were secretly watching this show behind closed doors. And, you know, don't let
Control is ours. Hold on to it.
don't let these clowns bother you because life's too short for that and all. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this video.
The area's almost yours.
But yeah, just live the life you want as an otaku. Live the life as you want, you know, and you know, because you don't answer to these people.
I am ready to put on a show.
I thought I was the dangerous one.
You'll have to keep
You
fighting until we have a winner.
you only answer basically to yourself and to God. And you know, if you have a good spouse, I would throw that in there too. But other than that, you know. But yeah, anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. And if there's anything else you'd like me to talk about, let me know, and I will talk about it if I know anything about it. So that's gonna do this for the video. I will see you all next time, and peace.